But since last time, I've been thinking about what we were speaking about yesterday, and I also realized that May School is going to start using phonics books from the very beginning. When students come to May School for the first time, they will be using Oxford Phonics World. So I thought I'd just like to re-emphasize. What's re-emphasize? Okay, good. I hope you're right. I'm not sure what the Vietnamese is, but I'd like to re-emphasize why we need to start teaching our students with phonics first. Okay? I want to share with you a comparison between two cultures. This little girl's name is Samantha. She's from Canada. When she was born into a wonderful English learning environment. Everywhere she went, every day, every hour, every minute, she's in an English environment. So, for the first 5 years of her life, as she started to grow up, can you see her growing? Yes. Unfortunately, her family is not very rich, so they can't afford to buy her new clothes, so she had to wear the same clothes. But in those 5 years, she had the luxury of being in an English environment. Even if she didn't want to learn English, she still learned English, right? Because it came lots and lots of input. Then after about 1.5 years, 1 year, she started to speak simple sentences, simple words. And then from simple words became simple sentences. And then she even learned how to ask questions. But you know, when she was 5 years old, all the language she knew was copied. She used to copy the people around her. So when she heard her older sister say, "Mommy, I need some money." That's a good one. Yes, "Mommy, I need some money." She copied exactly what she heard. She never created her own language. She just copied. And that's why she sounded very similar to her sister. When her sister said, "Mommy, may I have some ice cream, please?" She copied this tone and everything is the same, right? Okay, so she's quite lucky in terms of English language learning, right? Then it's time for her to go to school. So mommy takes her off to kindergarten. But when she gets to the kindergarten, at the front gate, the teacher says, "Hello, Samantha." Hi, teacher, right? "Welcome to our school. Are you excited to come to school?" "Yes," says Samantha, right? "Do you want to see your new classroom?" "Yes." Do you think Samantha can understand everything the teacher is saying? No. After 5 years? I think so, right? When you want to see your new classroom, you want to come with me, are you nervous? All of those questions, she could understand all of them. But if her teacher didn't speak to her, she just wrote it down and said, would Samantha be able to understand? No. No, because Samantha cannot read, but she can understand, right? And she can speak quite well. Isn't that wonderful? So before she even went to school, she had the communication ability, and she understood so many things, right? Now, let's look at Phung. Phung is from Vietnam, right? And when Phung, this is Phung's English language environment. This is called May's School, okay? Now, not that I'm criticizing May's School, it's any school, right? Not only May's School. But look at the difference between the environment. This is a nice round shape. How about this one? Which one do you prefer? This one looks a little softer and a little bit more friendly, right? This one's got sharp corners, right? Ooh, not very comfortable. But This is Vietnam. We don't have that nice circle. So, mommy decides, oh, 5 years old, Phung, you need to start learning English. So, go to May school, jump in, shoo, doink, doink, doink. Get into the class and start learning English. When you finish the class today, come home and tell me what you learned. Day 1, right? How do you think Phung will feel? Pressure, stress, fear. Because you know why? In your class, she's very lucky because she has you as a teacher, right? So, she comes into your class and you say to her, hello boys and girls, I'm your new teacher, welcome to my class. First of all, she can't really understand, but she sees your nice smiling face. So maybe it means something good for her, right? Then you say to her, you are very lucky today because we are going to start learning English. And I have a book for you. So you take out your pile of books and you say, here you are, here you are. Ooh, a nice new book. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Right, so then you say to them, boys and girls, please open your book. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, look at this book. Isn't it wonderful? You see the different pictures?
Yes.
Do you see the girl? You see the boy? And the trees? And the swing and the school? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Very good. But none of that is important. What is important is the language and the grammar and the vocabulary. So let's do it together, boys and girls. Are you ready to learn English?
Yes.
Right. The boy sees the girl and he says, Toda raba. Toda raba. There we go. Good. Well, boys and girls, your English is so good. Especially Phung. Your English is good. Right. Okay. Then the girl sees the boy and she says, Bevakesha.
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 Let's say it 3 times. Bevakesha.
Bevakesha.
Bevakesha. Bevakesha. Right, so the boy says, now we're starting to come into a bit of problem because I've just taught you this and now you've already started to forget. Never mind, I'm a happy teacher, so I'll revise again. Toda raba. Toda raba. Watch my mouth. Toda raba. Good. Never mind, we'll have more chance to say it 20 times later. Okay. So the boy says, and the girl says, you cannot say. You are not here, right? You are not in my class. You are the teacher's assistant, right? Okay, so isn't this fun? Quite easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look, right? Good. See? Yes, right. Then the girl sees the boy and she says, who handed? Who handed? Watch my mouth. You see this one? This is Schnee. Schnee mohe. Schnee mohe. We say hand. Okay, remember that. Let's say it together. Schnee mohe. Yes! Got it! Brilliant! Okay, so remember, she says, Buchandet. That's right, and then the boy says, Baya Hutangi. See these two? They said Hud. Let's say it 5 times. Hud. Very good. So the boy says, I think I need to change my job. I want to be a taxi driver. This is too difficult. How do you feel, Phung? How do you feel? This is your English class. How do you feel? Scary. But don't worry. There's a CD in the book. So all you have to do is go home and listen to it 100 times and remember it. Because next time when you come to my class, I'm going to say, Toda raba. And you need to say, Bevakesha. Wow, very good. Oh, well done. Bevakesha. And then I say, who handed? And you must say, Boys and girls, go home and listen to your CD. Okay? How do you feel, teachers? It's funny, right? But not funny. Because this is exactly how your students feel when they come to May School. They get given the book and nothing looks familiar. It looks like that. Is that English? No, it's actually Hebrew, right? And actually what I was speaking wasn't actually Hebrew. It's a bit of mixture of everything. And that's not important. What is important is how you feel. And this is the way we've been doing it for too long. Students don't have any idea of how to say. All they can do is what? Memorize and then go home and listen to that CD, right? Did you notice when I said that? Schneermolher, Chan. That makes no sense at all. How can Schneermolher become Chan? It's impossible. But that's exactly what we do for our students. C-A-T, cat. C-A-T is not cat. C-A-T is C-A-T. Oh look, there's a C-A-T. Meow, meow. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So, we need to change this. We can't keep on doing it like this because it's unfair. What we need to do is go back to this situation here. Okay, let's go quickly. We need to come back to this situation. We need to change this environment for film, right? We need to create a similar environment to Samantha's. And the best, and for me the only way to do it, is by creating a phonics environment. Teaching phonics first. Because phonics is easier than just teaching vocabulary and sentence grammar, right? It starts from the alphabet, the most basic elements of the language, right? And we start to build up from there. Okay, so Samantha had how many years to prepare for school? 5 years. Does Film have 5 years?
No.
She's already 5 years old, right? If we wait another 5 years, then she's 10 years old, then it's too late, right? So, what we want to do is ask Film to grow up faster in an English environment. Give her 1 year. Just learning phonics. But remember, when we are learning phonics, we don't just learn the letters and the pronunciation. What we do, this is what I came back to yesterday. We give her a significant auditory experience. Through our teaching of phonics, we will give her lots and lots and lots of input. Some of the input we want her to remember. Some of the input we just want her to experience. And remember, input, where does it go? Right down to your toe. And the more you input, the more you fill up. The more you fill up. Right? Good. What we also give her when we teach phonics first is question comprehension and answering ability. When I see an orange in the book, I say, boys and girls, do you like to eat oranges? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, there we go. Good. So she starts to learn how to answer and how to understand questions. We also teach her how words are created by blending the letters together. And we also help her to start spelling words. When she sees the word like flask, here's the word flask. What sounds do you hear? Flask. Flask. I can write it almost correctly just from listening. Okay? But most importantly, through phonics, because phonics is not so stressful, it's much easier. The students have an affinity and familiarity with the language. They make friends with English. because they understand how English works. Much better than "Todaraba, bevakesha." Go home and practice. I'm not teaching you how, I'm just telling you to do it. That's the wrong way. Okay, so that's my answer. The tortoise and the hare go on a race, right? They have a race. The rabbit. Yeah. Hare is a wild rabbit. And a rabbit hops. A hare runs very fast because he's wild. Okay, anyway, right? They have a race. Who starts off faster? The hare starts off faster. The hare is like your students learning the traditional way. The teacher comes, teaches you a few words, you memorize a few words, and you can memorize them and spell them very well. But after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, your brain cannot fit in anymore. So the student who starts running fast, starts to slow down. The tortoise is our students at May School, studying phonics. It seems like we're very slow, right? But once we understand the rules of phonics, and we can do it quite well, this tortoise becomes a super tortoise. It's like this, and all of a sudden, stand up and fly through the roof. Because the students can help themselves. They don't need the teacher 24 hours a day. I come to school, I learn some new things, I can go home and I can help myself. I can read the words by myself. And then you will see your English, your students' English in year 2, year 3, year 4, they will grow faster than you can even imagine, really. Otherwise, if you are the hare, you will grow, but your job is never over. You always have to put new words into their heads. Okay? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So, we need to rethink this. Trust me, it works, right? So, let's take a look now at how we can create the environment. Last time we did it, I want to revise it so everybody is very sure. Because remember, 1 year is worth a lot of money for that student. We need to make sure we do it correctly. When we teach words, use the word in an example sentence. If you have very young learners, use a simple sentence. If you have older students, you can use a little bit longer sentence. Okay. Here I'd like to share with you a little technique. Do you remember last time I taught you the comprehension check?
Yes.
Right? Today I want to talk to you about the PEER process. P-E-E-R. Right? It's an acronym, P-E-E-R, PEER. Right? And what it stands for, this is another very common practice that you need to use often in your class. What's the first letter? P. P stands for prompt. Prompt. When prompt means you say something and you ask them to reply. That's a prompt, right? You give them the opportunity to react. The most common prompt is a question. You ask the students a question. What's